5 things millionaires spend money on that you probably don't. I'm Alex Stoermer, I'm a self-made millionaire, and this is the channel for wealth builders. If you'd like to improve your wealth building skills with us, it's free to subscribe. Now, according to Fortune, over 1,700 people are becoming millionaires per day in America. And so by the end of this video, you'll have learned 5 changes you can make to your financial life starting today that will accelerate your path to freedom. Let's dive in. The first thing millionaires spend money on that you might not is coaching and mentors. In this screenshot, you can see I hired one of the world's best digital marketing and information products minds, Mike Dillard, to coach me on a goal. In my case, it was guidance on how to build an information products business. This was quote-unquote expensive in one sense, costing me thousands of dollars, but that's part of the lesson. It was some of the best money I've spent in my life, probably saving me years of working in the wrong direction. Millionaires are willing to pay well for coaching and mentors based on the following 2-step assessment framework. First, has this potential coach already done what I'm trying to do? And second, is their agreed upon price and commitment level? Now, Mike had irrefutably done what I was trying to do, generating over $60 million in his information products businesses. The second thing a millionaire looks for when evaluating a coaching opportunity is whether the coach is willing to clearly define what is included and what is not included. Now, this agreement doesn't have to be long, and actually it shouldn't be. Many people actually qualified to provide this kind of coaching won't do so at any price. So if they can find a coach who is qualified to help them based on this simple 2-step framework and who is actually willing to be a coach, then millionaires often won't hesitate to buy that coaching. The second thing millionaires spend money on that you might not is debt, specifically paying it off as quickly as possible. During a recent interview with a self-made millionaire named Greg, who had just sold his first successful business, he told me that even before he sold it, he was paying off his mortgage at a $20,000 per month rate. His rationale chain was this. First, my time on this earth is limited, and there is nothing that I can do to change that. Second, my freedom is defined as my passive income being greater than my monthly bills. Third, and therefore, spending money to eliminate debt, i.e. lower monthly bills, is a top priority. And then after he actually sold the business, he paid the house off immediately, essentially locking himself into freedom forever. And therefore the lesson is this. Self-made millionaires spend whatever they can afford to at any given time to move towards getting out of debt. The next conclusion self-made millionaire Greg came to is the number 3 thing on our list that millionaires spend their money on, and that is to focus on buying low-hassle income. We've all heard of the concept of passive income, but with few exceptions, it's more realistic to think of as low-hassle income. After he sold his business, Greg had one low-hassle passive income stream and was working on a second. Now, the first one was that of rental income. He had sold the operating business, but kept ownership of the property that business laid on, and he was renting that property to the new business owner. Money is deposited into his account every month, and he has to do very little for it. The second low-hassle income stream he was exploring was that of a coffee shop. The plan is to convert a shipping container into a coffee shop, buy an unimproved piece of land for a gravel parking lot, and put the container there. He would then rent the container at the provided location to the people who wanted to run a coffee shop. So he would have the upfront cost of the shipping container, the empty land, the permits and fees to the city, but then have perpetual income for life, and not have any of the hassle nor daily labor of running the business. Other forms of low-hassle income that you can implement, and which have lower barriers to entry, include buying dividend-paying stocks, creating video content on platforms such as this one, and creating digital products which, after their initial creation, can be sold as low-hassle income indefinitely. Leave me a comment below with a low-hassle income idea you've been successful with or are thinking about trying. The fourth thing millionaires spend money on that you might not be are professional services, meaning accountants, tax advisors, and attorneys. To help communicate the point, let me share the titles of 2 lessons from my upcoming wealth building course. The first lesson is the strategic use of taxes for wealth builders, and the second is how to use wills, trusts, and LLCs to lawsuit-proof your life. Let's talk about the taxes first. According to entrepreneur and self-made millionaire Robert Kiyosaki, taxes will either make you rich or make you poor. And taxes are your largest single expense. And it was Judge Learned Hand who famously said, "Anyone may so arrange his affairs so that his taxes shall be as low as possible." There's not even a patriotic duty to increase one's taxes. Millionaires know that even though they may seem quote-unquote expensive, hiring a skilled and motivated tax advisor and accountant can save far more than they cost. The same is true for protecting against lawsuits. It's author Morgan Housel, author of The Psychology of Money, who writes, "There are a million ways to get wealthy, but there's only one way to stay wealthy, and that's some combination of frugality and paranoia. And lawsuits, even if you're not yet wealthy, can financially ruin you. Savvy millionaires know this as well, and they take action to address it, because they realize that paying for such protection is a drop in the bucket compared to what could be lost." Here is a binder of legal documents that I had my asset protection attorney set up to assure that my life's work can't be stolen from me or my loved ones. For many self-made millionaires, things like professional tax optimization and expert legal protections are things worth spending money on. The fifth thing millionaires spend their money on that you might not is continuous education. Continuous education would of course include the first item on our list, coaching and mentors, but number 5 on our list here represents everything that isn't that. Here we are referring to books, paid courses which aren't one-on-one mentorships, and so on. In fact, according to the National Study of Millionaires by Chris Hogan, self-made millionaires clearly demonstrate a growth mindset versus a fixed mindset, meaning they don't let the possibility of looking foolish stop them from learning. And Warren Buffett's partner and fellow self-made billionaire Charlie Munger says, "In my whole life, I have known no wise people over a broad subject matter who didn't read all the time. None, zero." And he also said, "I don't think you can get to be a really good investor over a broad range without doing a massive amount of reading. I don't think any one book will do it for you." Here's a partial stack of the books I've read on business and financial topics. And while I agree with Charlie that a wealth builder needs to educate continuously and as a lifestyle, one of these books is more directly responsible for me becoming a millionaire over about a 6-month period after decades of struggling than any of the rest of these books. I'll reveal which one that is and make a video on that in the future, so subscribe if you're interested in that topic. Books are ridiculously cheap forms of education. My recommendation is that if you find a book with a high number of 4 and 5-star reviews and which is related to the direction that you're trying to go, to buy it without hesitation and read it. And by the way, when I read a book for continuous education purposes, I treat it like I was studying for a college course. Here you can see that I highlight, I write in notes, I link ideas with lines, and so on. Now, this is actually a time saver, and here's why. The good books I will want to come back to many times in the future, but it may be months or years in between. When I flag pages, took notes, and so on, it saves me hours of trying to relocate the most important data, and hours of trying to re-establish the appropriate conclusions that I had already made. My goal here is to educate you in a way that helps you build and keep great wealth. These videos take many hours to make, and I have to tell many people in my life that I love that I can't spend time with them because I'm making these videos for you. If you made it this far, therefore, I'd really appreciate a thumbs up. In fact, I have over 100 financial education videos that I've already posted to this channel, and I've got hundreds more coming for you. I'll see you in the next one.